Well, my face is frozen, so I'm not sure if I'm talking or not talking. As usual, Facebook Live Producer seems to add one more complicated step after one more complicated step. So I now have a counter going down. I hope you're well. It's Wellness Wednesday. I'm not so well. I've got a sore back. I think it's a flare-up from the car accident I had a few months ago where I got rear-ended by a teenager at the roundabout, so that was not fun. And it's, you know, the pain where you can't quite put your finger on where it's sore, but it's generally very sore across a large area. So I spent much of yesterday sitting on my bed with a hot water bowl on my back with my laptop on my lap. So it's a little bit better today, but I still need to TLC myself. So I've got hot water bottle, turmeric, and I've got some I forget what it's called, a Nurofen rub. Anyway, so that's my little ritual to try and calm it down so I can get back to myself, because I haven't really had a chance to do much of my exercise this week, and I'm feeling it. I'm looking outside thinking, oh, I'd love to be out there, but instead I'm sat here. So yes, I realized in retrospect that it probably flared up because I had a lot of nights in the last weeks where I had visitors to my bed in the middle of the night when I was sleeping. So my nights of sleep were very rudely interrupted many times, and I was working late quite a lot this last few weeks because the project that I'm working on in Brazil is 14 hours behind Townsville where I live. So late nights and early mornings in order to talk to the team there has been giving me less of a bedtime pattern than I would ordinarily have, but nevertheless that's okay, it's going well. So, and I'm not sure about you at the moment, but I'm also feeling a bit sad about everything that's going on in the world. Continued lockdowns in Australia, and a lot of people unwell, and a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of fighting about whether to have vaccinations or not have vaccinations. It's making me feel upset. Then I watched a documentary last week about COVID and all of the orphans that we now have in Indonesia as a result of COVID, and how a lot of children are having to live at home by themselves because their parents have passed away and no one will go to look after them in their homes. And that made me feel immensely sad. And off the back of that, we've then had this massive challenge in Afghanistan this last few days, which is just mind-boggling and frightening in 2021 that we're watching those scenes. So avoiding the media a little bit because there's too much sadness in the world for me at the moment, and I'm trying to focus on the good things and the positive things that I have in my life as well. So those things, we can't ignore them, but you know, if you're empathetic, then it does affect you in a really deep way. So I have to be mindful of how much exposure I'm having to them, because I think about it and I'm very visual, and I visualize everything that's happening, and seeing one scene on television is enough to stay with me for many hours, days and nights. So that's it's challenging. So on a happy note and a good note, yesterday from the printer I received our new book. So this is Bobby, a horse who teaches a young girl how to love. This was all watercolor paintings done by two local artists in Townsville, Debbie Belcastro and Jennifer Hyatt. And it's a story about a young girl who found friendship, trust and love in a horse. He looked after her and she looked after him, and they had many adventures together in outback North Queensland. Good friends come in many shapes and sizes, and sometimes our greatest teachers are animals. So Bobby was my horse growing up. And this is me on my horse Bobby, and I grew up on a cattle station. And I was homeschooled, and I lived a relatively isolated life, I guess, for a little girl. So Bobby was my best friend, and we had a lot of adventures together. And all the watercolor paintings have been beautifully done by Jennifer and Debbie to depict local life on the cattle station where I grew up, and all of the stuff that we did. and you know, other animals that were also our friends. So this is a really beautiful book. It's been a great process to create this with Debbie and Jennifer, and I've got a few copies on a rush order with me this week, because tomorrow we have a photo shoot with myself and the artists in order to prepare for the weeks and months ahead and all the events that are coming up. Basically, the book comes from a poem which I wrote in the August 2019 for a children's horse magazine, and we had a nationwide poetry competition which I judged, and then I wanted to turn the poem into a book. So we turned this poem into a story, which is a bit longer, includes some more stuff, and essentially the message under it is, you know, what I find as a child, and I'm sure you did as well, that many of the books that stuck with you were those that had a moral to the story, or there's a subliminal message or something that you can take with you. So one of the books I most remember as a child is a little girl called Helping Hilda, and Helping Hilda wants to be helpful, but she ends up making a huge mess. So then her way to help is to clean up the mess, and that little story has stayed with me my entire life. And helping is one of my core values. So for me, that story resonated with me. So when I'm creating a story, I want it to be something that's resonating with people and is helping people feel that they can relate to the story, they can see themselves in it, and there's something that they can take with them. So I want my work to convey meaningful things, as opposed to just, you know, fun stuff. So I've taken the story of me as a little girl growing up with my horse, and the bonds that we had, and how he demonstrated and showed me the value of loving an animal and the love that the animal can give back to you. You know, now lots of things happened as a child on a cattle station. You know, I'd fall off him in the middle of nowhere, or we get stuck in quicksand, and loads of things happened, and I had to save him sometimes, and sometimes he had to save me. And that can be true in all areas of our life. So I really wanted to bring that story to life, and it's exciting that it's now printed, and we've got a lot of stuff planned. But you know, one of the other amazing things is to have these collaborations. So you know, Debbie and Jennifer are mums and they're grandmas now, and we're able to kind of take this work and to share it with people broadly. So the book is now live internationally to order on any platform, so you can order it in paperback or ebook if you want to have it on your tablet or on Kindle, for instance. And you know, that book can be shared around the world. And it's not really so much that, yes, it uses my story, but it's not so much about me. I want to use the book as a vehicle really to help others, and you know, whether that's, you know, children and animals and parents, but also caregivers. So what we intend on doing with this book is to do fundraising events. So with the koala book, just up here, we've managed to raise almost $1,000 for the koala hospital on Magnetic Island. So with the book Bobby, what we intend to do is to raise funds for Wild Hearts Sanctuary, which is just down the road towards Woodstock, and we're going to use the book to do fundraising events where we'll have an opportunity to hear about the work that's done at Wild Heart Sanctuary. The Wild Heart Sanctuary is run by a lady called Yvette and her husband and her son, and what they end up doing is just sweeping up all, you know, unwanted pets and animals and neglected animals and caring for them. And it makes me happy and proud, but also a bit sad that there is few people doing the work of many. You know, and people go into debt in order to care for others, and you know, people put a lot of their own personal self-gain on hold in order to care for others, and that's certainly true for the Koala Hospital at Magnetic Island and Wild Heart Sanctuary here near Townsville. And I want to draw attention to the work that the people do on behalf of many to keep our wildlife and animals and the planet moving forward in a positive direction. So this book is not just about me, it's a vehicle in order to help others, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. So after this week, we'll start promoting the fundraising event that we're going to do here in Townsville, and it will be an event where people can come along, hear the story, maybe play with some ponies, and to hear about the work that's done at Wild Heart Sanctuary, and to of course win some prizes. So that's really exciting. So next week I'm on the road with Bobby, as well as my other 2 books, and we'll be going to the Yungaburra Book Fair up in the Atherton Tablelands, and I'm super excited to get back there, because last year I went with 1 book and the covers of my 2nd book, and this year I'm going back with 3 books. And it's beautiful book fair, and a chance to connect and collaborate with other people. And off the back of the book fair that I went last year, I have collaborated with at least 4 people that I met there. So I'm really excited to go back. And next week I'll have 2 school readings for the books, 1 school in Townsville on book fair day, and 1 school in Yungaburra as well. So that's really nice and exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So Saturday the 28th will be at the book fair, and Sunday the 29th of August will be in the Atherton Wellness Expo, so you can find me there. And later this year the book will feature in the same magazine that we did the poetry competition, and we're going to create a short story competition for children. So that's also really important for me, that reading and writing and poetry and creative thinking and creative writing is something that I really enjoyed as a child. So the continuation, helping with the continuation of that for others, is really important. And poets that inspired me as a child were Banjo Paterson and B.J. Lawson and all of those Australian poets, and they talked about rural life and horses. So, you know, if we can get more children involved in that, it would be really special. So lots of good things happening, and next week you'll start to see the book in bookshops around North Queensland, which is exciting. And if you know a shop that would like to stock the book, just drop me a message and I can order some and send them to them wherever they may be. So I'm doing free postage till the end of August to anywhere in Australia. So do jump on my website and order a copy, or like I said, you can go online to your favorite platform and order a copy. I don't mind how you get the book, as long as you enjoy sharing it with others. Thanks very much for watching today. I hope you are well, and I hope wherever you are that you can find some things to feel positive about and to feel good about this week. Alright, take care, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye.